Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1626. Yay! And tonight we're talking about brain boosters. I thought it would be a good time to, we're always talking about living your best life now. And so we need to give you some tools to be able to do that. We've got different experts that we bring on every now and again to help us live our best life now, but sometimes you got to take care of what's in here. So tonight we are going to be talking about brain boosters, and I actually have a PowerPoint. Oh my gosh, I put together a PowerPoint for you guys. So we're going to be having a look at that. And we're also live again on TikTok. So hello to everybody in TikTok land. And let's see if we can, hang on, I got to figure out how to turn this around. There's a turnaround button on here somewhere, because I want it to see the screen. And hang on, I got to get this one. Yay! I got that to work. Oh, awesome. Let's see. Can I? I have never done a PowerPoint on StreamYard before, so this is a new experience. And I actually want to flip the camera, but I can't see. Oh, there it is. Flip camera. That works. Okay. Let's see. Move that back. Oops, we need to go down that way. Sorry, I'm just, oh, you guys don't need to be seeing all my little notes down here. All right, so we're going to do this. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys can all see that. All right, so we're going to go through the brain boosters here. Where's my little, oh, there's my button next to me. I've moved my buttons. All right, so let's go through this. So keeping your mind sharp is important, whether you are 8 or 88, but it does require effort, some effort. By spending 15 minutes a day on simple exercises, you can really boost your brain power. And we've compiled some of our favorite brain boosting exercises to keep your mind fresh and everything else. So here we go. Number 1, speed read. Speed reading helps you develop better memory and achieve your goals faster. Now, some people don't like reading a physical book. I love to read a physical book, and I do have quite a high speed read thing, but not as fast as some. I'm kind of on the high side of average. But when I listen to audiobooks, I love listening to audiobooks, and I use them a lot. So when I listen to audiobooks, what I do is I actually put it onto double speed first. Then I go back to the beginning of chapter 1, and then I put it on like 1.75 or 1.5 times the speed. And then when I play it again, because I've just been listening to a couple of minutes of double speed, which kind of sounds like, the teacher in Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. When you slow it down to 1.75 or 1.5, it actually sounds like it's being read at normal speed. So there's a little tip for you on that one. So yeah, love speed reading. Draw. Number 2, draw. This one can actually help. Sometimes I doodle. I will sit and doodle because I'm trying to work my way through a problem. So sometimes just drawing it out helps. That's why I love doing mind mapping and things on my dining table. That was a big dining table that we're doing the mind mapping on. And so I'm trying to get that. There we go. Just trying to make sure the guys on TikTok can see. This is a little crooked. Line that up. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it helps engage the right hemisphere of the brain, and drawing can be fun. I mean, even if you want to do something like coloring as well, that's another good way as well, especially if you're getting into those little intricate things. Practice a new language. With practice a new language, I don't really speak a lot of other languages. I know little bits here and there of different languages. But one thing that I have learned through genealogy is that it's finding those key words in foreign documents. So when I'm looking, like I had to do research for a family who lived in Mexico and who were from Mexico. So I was going through all the Mexican records. Now, first of all, I had to learn how to read the handwriting because it was all in this gorgeous calligraphy, scripted writing. It was beautiful handwriting. Some of them weren't so good, but most of them were pretty good. But I had to learn how to recognize the key words in Spanish for father, mother, child, son, daughter, aunt, uncle, months, days, even numbers as well, because some of the numbers weren't written as a number, it was written as a word. So that helps as well, and once I get in the zone for doing that, I then have my laptop open and I've got Google Translate open, and then I'm typing the Spanish documents into Google Translate so I can get the full meaning, but I look for those little keywords when I'm going. So, but yeah, practice a new language. Crossword puzzles. Completing crossword puzzles bring out the brain's ability to think critically. I love crossword puzzles. I absolutely love and adore crossword puzzles. My favorite crossword puzzles are cryptic crossword puzzles, and these are where the clues are not what they seem. So when you're reading the clues in a cryptic word, you're looking to see is one of the words in the clue an anagram that I just have to rearrange the letters and put it into the crossword grid. Is there two words where I have to take, like, say, the last half of the first word and the first half of the second word and put them together to get the answer? Is there a clue in there that tells me that it sounds like one of the words that's already in the clue? So it's taking that clue and having to decipher it. So I absolutely love those because it gets you thinking even more. Then we have laugh. Oh my gosh, laugh. Everybody knows how much I love to laugh. You can, with laughing, it's laughter's just awesome for the body in general. And if you get those really good belly laughs going, it is a really good aerobic workout for your internal organs without having to go for a run. I know, crazy as it sounds, but you can go on to things like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Reels and all of that sort of stuff. Look up your favorite comedian. You can look up different sitcoms. You can look up, like dad jokes seems to be the thing around at the moment too. There's these three guys that are up they're supposed to be out deer hunting, and they're in a deer blind, and they're busy there trying to keep the noise down. And they're whispering into the microphone these different dad jokes and just cracking themselves up. It's hilarious. But you can find lots of good stuff out there to laugh at. And I will tell you this, there are some scenes from Mrs. Brown's Boys, the Carol Burnett Show, that it doesn't matter how many times I see them, I always end up having a good belly laugh. And with me, when I get those good belly laughs going, I actually forget to breathe. And then I go into these huge coughing fits. And when I started on those, Brad could tell straight away, and he'd be like, breathe, Helen, breathe, breathe, which would just start me laughing even further. So, I miss those days. But anyway, there's always good stuff out there to laugh at too. And I have a friend who, when we find the funny videos, we actually share the links backwards and forwards with each other. Debate. Oh, this is awesome. This strengthens your brain's ability to think quickly and persuasively. When you have a good debate, and Brad and I used to sit there and we would debate the stupidest of things. And when he was in hospital, doped up on morphine after his first surgery, what was the thing we were debating? There was something we were debating on, and one of the nurses came in at that time to check his vital signs and all of that sort of stuff, and check his fluids and all of that. And and she comes in the middle of this, and we're like going backwards and forwards like crazy with this debate thing. And she stops. She goes, "What are you guys debating?" And we, well, let me ask you your opinion on this. And so we asked her opinion on whatever it was we were debating, which was something totally stupid. And she just, instead of joining in, she just started laughing. So, spread the laughter any way you can. Debates are always a good way to do that. Learn consistently. I will read, listen, study, observe. I am always learning. I'm always wanting to learn. Last weekend, I taught myself, thanks to YouTube videos, how to put together a faceless YouTube channel using Canva and ChatGPT, and got that all up and running. And so this week, I'm actually going to be learning. What am I learning this week? It's something on Canva again. There's a different tool on Canva I'm going to be learning this week, which will be tomorrow. I don't know. I've decided Sunday's going to be my learning day. But every day, I'm always learning something new. I come across something, I'm like, what is that? And I'll go look it up and, learn something new. Classical music. Oh, this one here. Classical music is amazing when you are studying, when you are needing to concentrate on something. And I always, I will have classical music playing in the background. Usually when I'm working, I've got like the tracks from the 80s playing because that's my jam. The tunes from the 80s that I grew up with. And so I'm normally playing those. But when I have to concentrate, like if I'm writing, studying, anything like that, and I want to have music playing, it's always classical music. It just seems to help it stick in the brain better. Play board games, card games. Absolutely. I love playing board games. I love playing card games. Sometimes I don't have people to play with, so I just get those solitaire games. What's the app I use? No, it's not Cards. Is it Card Shark? It's Card something or other, and it's got like about 100 and something different games of solitaire that you can get in play. But then you can also play against the computer as well. So yeah, they've got some of my favorite games I like to play on that one too, like 500 and Euchre. Yeah, most people don't know about those ones, but they're good games to play, good strategy games. Call someone, go out, call someone, meet for a coffee, meet for breakfast, lunch, dinner, for a meal, meet to go for a walk together through the park. Just to have that social networking. If you've got, like, my family and my mum and dad, we get on Zoom every now and again, and so we'll have that face-to-face conversation. My mother texts me every single day except for when I'm sitting in the same room with her. And the funny thing is, I will sit there with my phone at around the time that she's supposed to text me, and I'll be looking at my phone and it'll have the black screen on it, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I'm waiting for my mum to text me. She always texts me at this time. She's running late today." Gets a laughing. But having that social connection with other people does help as well. Just pick up the phone and call someone. If you've got relatives that live, family and friends that don't live close by, pick up the phone, call them, get on a Zoom with them, and just chat. Just chat, catch up. It's always good. Walk. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Thankfully, with Zeffie. What do you think, Zeffie? We like our walks? Yes, we like our walks. My favorite walks is in the morning. And right now, the last few days, it has been between 29 degrees Fahrenheit and 34 degrees Fahrenheit, which in Celsius is -1 Celsius to, I think it's either 2 or 3 degrees. And I get out there in the mornings, and the first thing I do after I've locked up and before we get on the path is I just stand there and inhale this beautiful, fresh, crisp, clean, cold air into the lungs and whoosh out the crap that's been sitting in there all night. And then just take like 3 big deep breaths like that, and my energy levels, I feel them going up as we start walking. So that's always a good one, and it helps you think clearly as well. Get all that oxygen in there, the energy levels. Ask questions. Always ask questions. I'm always asking questions. One of my favorite things to do is if you don't know what questions to ask, if you've got something like Alexa, just ask Alexa for the question of the day. They do have some trivia program thingy that you can sign up for, but I'm sort of like, I can't even remember to ask her every single day for a question. So imagine if I'm paying for a subscription, I'm like, that's not going to work. So it's just an every now and again thing. But, ask one of those AI things like Alexa, Google, maybe Siri. I don't know. Siri and I do not communicate. She thinks I say one thing and I say something else. But she thinks what I said was inappropriate when it's not. But anyway, so ask questions. Always be asking questions and listen for the answers. That's the other part of it, is listen for the answers. Brain teasers. Oh, I love brain teasers. I like those little puzzles where you got to figure out how to get the ring off the stick with the knots on the ends. And my brother is like a genius at those things. I sent him one year for Christmas. I sent him down like about this pack that had like about 5 or 10 of them in there. He had them all completed in like 5 minutes. I was like, they weren't supposed to. Yeah, he's got a knack for doing those. I take a little longer. I got to think a little longer with those. But I love brain teasers. I love puzzle. I'm a puzzle girl. Jigsaw puzzles, Rubik's cubes. Rubik's cubes. Some of you going, Rubik, what? Rubik's cubes. Look it up. There's all sorts of different puzzles and things out there that you can use, and brain teasers as well. Number 14, riddle me this. Oh my gosh, answering riddles. This was actually ties in beautifully with what I did last weekend. So last weekend, watching the YouTube channel, I was making a faceless YouTube for riddles. And with the help of ChatGPT, I ended up with 530 prompts for 530 riddles. Out of those 530, I have made 30 bulk videos with Canva. And then what I did is 15 of those have been uploaded to the YouTube channel. If you want to check them out, the link is in the description below for those of you that are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. The link is in the description for those. For those on TikTok, we will get that link. Just go to YouTube and look up Riddles Mystery Box YT is the username for it. So riddles are always fun, and kids come up with the craziest riddles. And they come up with some of the craziest riddles. They really do. Paint. Just get out some paint and a paintbrush and paint. We're walking home one night, and there was a little girl who was sitting in their driveway, but on the pavement, in their driveway. And she was sitting there. She had like a 8x11 canvas in front of her, and she had a brush that was probably 1 to 1.5 inches wide, and she had these different colored paints there. And she would dip the she had a paper plate there that she was putting the paints onto, and she'd dip the brush in the paint and then just wipe straight across the canvas. And so she had these different colored lines of paint on there, but they were also blended as well because she would overlap some of them. And I didn't get to see the finished product except for what I saw on the ground where she had been, and the paint had been on one side of the canvas and then on the other side. So we get to see that every time we walk home that way. But she did a pretty good job of doing that. And her thing was, I'm painting like Mom. And I'm like, that's awesome. So yeah, have fun. Maybe you'll become the next abstract artist of the world or something. I don't know. Music. Play a musical instrument. It not only develops your creativity, but boosts your brain power too. I can play a recorder. Learned that back in school. I actually have 2 recorders, and I play it what I call cack-handed. When you play the recorder, it's meant to be the left hand on top with the right hand on the bottom half, and I do it the other way around. Yeah, I do it back to front. Whichever hand's supposed to be on the bottom is actually on the top when I play the recorder. And I do have an electronic keyboard that I can kind of play. My mum refused to give me piano lessons when I was a kid because of the music lessons that her and her sisters had gone through when they were growing up and having to do that. So she basically sat me down and said, here's middle C on the musical score, here's middle C on the keyboard, and this is how the notes go. So the right hand takes a bit of time and is a bit on the slow side, but it plays more notes than the left hand does because I can't figure out the left hand side. Hobbies: stamp collecting, coin collecting, arts and crafts, anything, wood turning, whittling, whatever you can think of as arts and crafts, and as a hobby. It's just good to keep the brain active and things that you can enjoy that way as well. I love my arts and crafts. I'm getting my sewing machine. My sewing machines will be unpacked soon because I'm setting up my art room, my art and craft room. And so I'll be able to pull out my sewing machines, which have been tucked away for, let's see, I think the last time I used my sewing machine was probably like 2006, maybe 7. So yeah, I've got some catching up to do with that. So I'm looking forward to cracking that out and creating. Quiz me. Ask yourself, useful knowledge and trivia to keep your mind in shape. Test yourself on your own knowledge. You can do this with genealogy as well. When you're test yourself. What was it that you did? What school were you attending when you were 7 years old? Now, me, I'd been to 9 different schools when I was growing up. I had 6 elementary schools, 2, I call them intermediates. What do you guys call them? Middle schools, and 1 high school. And just trying to go back and just going back and remembering which school I was at what age and that sort of thing as well. But, quiz yourself on your own personal history. Quiz yourself on your arts and crafts, your hobbies that you do. And maybe you'll find something that's sort of like, oh, I got to go look that one up. Maybe you might get some of those. Sudoku. Oh my gosh. Another great puzzle game that I enjoy doing. I love the Sudoku. Only the basic Sudoku that comes in the 1 square. You've got these ones that come with 1 square and then they have 2 squares that overlap at the top and 2 squares that overlap at the bottom. I can't do those things. Brad liked Kokoro. And Kokoro was a crossword-like grid that had numbers to go across, numbers going up and down, and you had to fill in. It had what the sum of, it had like 17 at the bottom. So the 2 numbers above, the 2 squares above, you had to put in 2 numbers. From 0 to 9, and they had to equal 17. But at the same time, you had ones going across on those 2 numbers as well. So figuring out which number had to go in there so that you would equal whatever the number was at the other end of the thing as well. So yeah, love these puzzles because they're kind of strategic. Anagrams. This word game will develop your brain power, memory skills, and problem-solving capabilities. Yes, I love anagrams. I especially love the ones where they have like dirt at the top and soil at the bottom, and you've got like 5 steps in between where you got to change 1 letter per step to get from one word to the other word. Even just mixing them up as well. Play the name game. Name as many varieties of one thing as you can, or make as many words as you can from another longer word. So take a longer word, and how many words can you make from that long word? Or take something like, I have my my coffee mug here, which is also a tumbler. It can be, it's vacuum sealed. It's a travel mug. It's a cup, water vessel. How many words can you pick up an object and start naming giving the different names for them? Recite your ABCs backwards. Who can recite their ABCs backwards? Let's see. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, CBA. Did I get it? Did I get it right? So, test yourself that way. And I learned a really cool thing about this the other day is that, I was watching one of the videos on TikTok, a reel. It was one of the videos I was watching the other day. There was this woman there who knows sign language extremely well and uses it on a daily basis because she has family who cannot hear. And so she was there with her, it was either niece or nephew. She's there with a baby that was about 3 or 4 months old. And she's singing the ABC song to this child, but she's signing it at the same time. And every time she got to UVWXYZ, the kid would start laughing. The baby would just go into these fits of laughter. It was really, really cute. And of course, it's that really cute baby laugh that you can't stop not laugh at. Have a spelling bee. Now, this one always amazes me. The words that they come up with in spelling bees. I used to look at Brad, and Brad would always, he'd be channel surfing. It would come up, and he'd say, "Oh, it's a spelling bee. Let's have a look at this." And I'm just like, and they'd say the word, and I go, "What did they just say?" Get out the phone, and of course, then I had to try and spell it so I could go look it up. And sometimes I'd put it across the bottom of the screen for you. But yeah. Spelling, those that can do spelling bees with those great big long complicated, how do they even come up with these words? It's like all those medical terms and scientific jargon and all of that sort of things that are these words. It's just sort of like, they just don't make sense to me, but it's a great way to get the brain churning. Ambidextrous tasks. Now this one here is teaching your non-dominant hand to do things like write, eat with it, ironing, washing dishes, brushing your hair, helping you get to whatever you use your right hand. If you're right hand dominant, then whatever you use that hand for, practice with your left hand and the other way around. And this one here, I actually started doing this when I was 11. When I was 11, I was in my second middle school, and the teacher in the class next door broke his right arm and had the big plaster cast thingy on it. And he was right hand dominant. And so he's having to still teach class with a right broken arm. And he was having to learn to write left-handed on the blackboard. Yes, blackboard, not whiteboard. Chalk, blackboard. And he was struggling with it. And I saw that struggle. We had to line up and to go out somewhere in class. And so I was watching through the open doorway into the classroom and watching him do this. And I looked at him and I looked at what the struggle was going through. And I turned to myself and I said to myself, I am never going to let that happen to me. And so from that day onwards, I started teaching myself how to use my left hand for things. Little did I know it was going to prepare me 12 years later when I developed tenosynovitis in my right wrist. And tenosynovitis is when the casing around the tendon inflames so you can't move the tendon. And it affected my thumb, index finger, and middle finger. And I couldn't move them. There was just so much pain in there. And I have to wear a brace every now and again. And it forced me to give up coaching gymnastics, which really pissed me off because I absolutely love gymnastics. And I could have stayed and continued on with my judging certifications that I was going for at the time. But instead I just went cold turkey on gymnastics. And it was 10 years before I started watching gymnastics on TV again. It just gutted me so much that I couldn't continue coaching kids with gymnastics. It was a very traumatic time for me. But because of that, because of what I'd seen when I was 11, when that happened to me and I couldn't use my right hand at all, I was able to still do everything but left-handed. I can still write. In fact, when I come across any puzzle book that has like a left-handed crossword puzzle in it, the rule my rule is if I come across a left-handed puzzle, I have to write left-handed into the puzzle with the answers and everything. So yeah. That's that one. And the last one we've got here for you is teach others something you know, or in a classroom setting or one-on-one. And this is what I love about my podcast, because I'm always teaching stuff from life experiences. I had my mastermind group today, and one of the things I said in there was that I have had a lot of life experience, And now it's taking that life experience and using it to help others. And in a way, I am teaching them from my experiences. This is what happened to me. This is what I did. And it may help them in their similar circumstances as well. So learning something new, then turning around and teaching it to somebody helps it stick a lot better in the head, in the brain. You also got to be quick thinking when you're teaching, especially if you're teaching a group of kids. Yes, I had fun with. I still miss my gymnastics days. And it's been 30. And it's been over 30 years since I last coached gymnastics. So I still miss it to this day. Still miss the coaching portion of it. But turning around and being able to teach others from life experiences that I have had. And, everybody's had life experiences of some sort, come through some sort of challenges that they've had along the way. They have learned, they have grown. You've developed different new skills and stuff. So take those learning moments in life and turn around and teach others those skills as well. Or, it may be that you might need to teach somebody a little bit of a skill that you picked up because they're going through a similar situation as you, and you're there to be able to mentor them through that incident. So that's the last one that we have for you. It's important to keep active, use your brain to remember, learn, solve problems. So you not only work your brain muscles, but you build and develop skills that keep your mind sharp. Have fun, get creative, exercise your brain regularly, and just make every day a fun day of learning. That's what I do. And so like I said, I enjoy learning. Tomorrow I'm going to learn a new skill on Canva. What is it going to be? I don't know yet because I haven't figured it out yet. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll open up Canva and look at their tools, and one of them will jump out at me and slap me across the face and go, learn me. And I'll go, okay. So that's it from us for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Everybody go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. Hei konera.